Have you ever stopped to think how some people can complete all their tasks before lunch, accumulating achievements and advancing in their projects, while you can't even identify exactly what they spent their day on? It is not magic, nor luck. Efficient people follow certain principles that help them optimize their time and energy. In this video, I will share with you 5 of these essential rules based on the book by Peter Drucker, The Effective Manager. Drucker, widely recognized as the father of modern management, is a global reference in management. Bill Gates, one of the most influential men in the world, declared that Drucker was the greatest management expert of the last 100 years. Throughout his career, Drucker has mentored leaders in various areas and influenced the management of renowned companies, such as Procter & Gamble, IBM, General Electric, and Intel. In 1966, he published this book, bringing together all his vast knowledge about effectiveness, time management, and how to achieve maximum performance. This book is still a fundamental work for those who seek to optimize their productivity. The 5 key lessons that can transform how you manage your daily activities. 1. Focus on your strengths and ignore your weaknesses. One of the main concepts defended by Drucker is that although we all have weaknesses, trying to correct them or overcome them can be a futile effort. Talented people also have great defects, and where there are mountains, there will always be valleys. No one is good at all, and this is natural. If you want to achieve extraordinary results, the way is not to correct your flaws, but rather to ignore them most of the time. Focusing on your weaknesses can not only be a great waste of time, but also a source of frustration and emotional wear. Instead, you should focus your energy and effort on what you do best, because it is your strengths that will yield tangible results. This advice runs counter to the popular belief that many of us have heard since childhood, such as when we were told, "You're not good at math, so spend more time studying that subject." Years later as adults, many still believe that they should work on their weaknesses. But according to Drucker, this is a short-sighted view. He argues that we should find our most powerful abilities and make them even more productive and effective. The only exception is when these weaknesses are related to our character or personality, because these can impact our relationships and our long-term success. Otherwise, the key is to further strengthen your strengths. Drucker says, "Make your strengths so evident and robust that your weaknesses become irrelevant." In other words, your strengths are your gold, while your weaknesses are merely dust. Focus on what is valuable. Now that you understand the importance of focusing on your strengths, how can you effectively identify them? The first step is careful self-observation. Analyze your performance, observe your results, and look for consistent patterns. Start with simple but fundamental questions. Do I work better alone or in a team? Do I learn more by listening or by reading? Am I more productive in the morning or at night? What activities do I do easily but seem difficult to others around me? Effective people are those who know themselves well enough not to pretend to be something they are not. They understand and accept their limitations, but maximize their strengths. In addition, these people help those around them to focus on their own abilities. They do not waste time trying to correct others' weaknesses, but create environments where everyone can use their best qualities. For example, if John is an excellent accountant but has difficulty dealing with clients, an effective manager will not try to transform John into an expert in interpersonal relationships. Instead, he'll create an environment where John can focus on doing what he does best, without distractions. 2. Manage your time effectively and strategically. If you're like most people, managing time probably means looking at your to-do list and planning how to complete them in the coming days or weeks. However, truly effective people start not with tasks, but with time. They don't just plan how they're using their time, but rather understand how they're actually using it. And there's a good reason for this. We humans are notoriously ineffective at tracking our time. We tend to underestimate how much time we spend on trivial activities and overestimate how much time we spend on important tasks. That's why we can't rely on our memory alone to know how we're really spending our time. The only reliable method is to keep a detailed and honest record. Drucker gives an interesting example. I sometimes ask executives who pride themselves on their good memories to estimate how they spend their time. Then, I set these estimates aside while they record, day after day, how they are actually using their time. There is rarely any similarity between what they thought and what the records show. For example, a president of a large corporation believed that his time was evenly divided between staff meetings, interactions with important customers, and community activities. However, after keeping a time log for a few weeks, he discovered that he was rarely involved in his priorities, spending most of his days dealing with routine problems and requests from regular customers. When he saw the results, he was shocked. It took 3 complete time logs for him to finally accept the truth. Only records are reliable, not memory. There is another crucial reason to track your time use. Time is our scarcest and therefore most precious resource. With each passing day, you have less time at your disposal, and that is something that can never be recovered. When a resource is scarce, the only sensible option is to find ways to make the most of it. And what does tracking time have to do with this? It's simple. You've probably heard the phrase, "What gets measured gets improved." And that is exactly the key to using your time more wisely. If you've tracked your time over the course of a week, you'll now have a list of tasks you're spending your hours on. This is a crucial first step to understanding how you spend your time. But the next, even more essential step is to manage it wisely. Managing your time means looking at this list and identifying which activities are productive and which are just taking up space. To eliminate the unproductive, you need to ask yourself 3 powerful questions. 1. If I stopped doing this, what would actually happen? If the answer is nothing significant, that's a strong signal that you should stop immediately, as this task is draining your time without adding value. 2. Is there someone else who could do this task just as well, or even better than I can? If the answer is yes, the most logical solution is to delegate, freeing yourself up to focus on what really matters. 3. Am I wasting the time of those around me in any way? Ask colleagues and coworkers for an outside perspective. Often, we don't realize that we are affecting the productivity of others. Once you understand how you spend your time and eliminate waste, the next step is to consolidate your activities into large blocks of time. According to Drucker, it is not effective to distribute your tasks in small intervals throughout the day, even if the sum of these small time slices seems significant. Working 4 consecutive hours on a specific task will always be more productive than adding up 15 hours of fragmented effort over several days. He states that the ideal time frame for effective work ranges from half a day to 2 full weeks of uninterrupted focus. Yes, even 2 weeks. Imagine the impact that this level of concentration can have on your results. Now you must be thinking, who can focus on a single task for 2 whole weeks? It seems impossible in the modern world, with so many distractions, deadlines, and competing demands. And it is true, it is not easy. That is probably why only a small percentage of people become truly effective. For these people, the secret is to always start with the most important task. Put off the second task, no matter how urgent it seems. Drucker advocates focusing on the top priority and completely ignoring the others until the first one is completed with excellence. The key to effectiveness is total and unwavering concentration. Effective people ask themselves one central question all the time. What is the most important thing I should do right now? From there, they focus all their energy on completing that task without letting themselves be distracted by other demands. Those who try to do too many things at once end up more overwhelmed and less productive. Even a juggler, no matter how skilled, can only keep several balls in the air for so long before dropping them. Similarly, if you try to juggle too many tasks, you will eventually lose control. Focusing on a single task not only allows you to finish faster, but also ensures that the work is done with greater quality and accuracy. Another key factor is the way productive people deal with unexpected events. They know that unexpected things happen, so they always allow for extra time. Most people underestimate the time it will take to complete a task, assuming that everything will go as planned. However, the unexpected is the only certainty. Effective people therefore allow themselves a fair margin of time to deal with setbacks, knowing that it is better to be prepared for the worst-case scenario than to be caught off guard. You might be wondering, I get it, I should focus on one task at a time, and I should leave extra time for unexpected things. But how do I do that with a to-do list that's full? Well, effective people have a trick. They're experts at creating a list of things to stop doing. They quickly identify which tasks are no longer delivering results and ruthlessly eliminate them. Drucker explains that deciding what not to do is even more important than deciding what to do. Why? Because the tasks and decisions we made in the past, even if they were smart at the time, can become irrelevant or even harmful in the present. It's crucial to eliminate what no longer adds value to make room for new opportunities. These people are meticulous about periodically reviewing their to-do lists and asking themselves, if I hadn't started this today, would it still be relevant or necessary? If the answer is no, they are quick to eliminate the task. And the important thing here is that eliminating a task takes more courage than intelligence. Why? Because the task that is no longer a priority for you may be important to someone else. It will take courage to communicate this decision and face possible resistance from those who may disagree. Another key principle for effectiveness: focus on contribution, not effort. Effective people always ask themselves, how can I make a meaningful contribution to improving the results? They don't just do tasks for the sake of doing them, but focus on the impact their work will have. Many people measure their success by the effort they put into a task, but what really matters is the results. If you focus only on completing your tasks, you will not be seen as a leader, no matter how high up your position. But if you focus on creating impact and results, you will be considered a leader, regardless of your position in the hierarchy. Effective people don't make a lot of decisions, they make strategic decisions. They can look at the big picture, and by making one decision, eliminate the need to make several others. A simple example would be to cook all your meals for the week on Sunday, instead of preparing something every day. Another example would be to hire someone to take care of all your administrative tasks, instead of trying to handle everything yourself. By making these strategic decisions, you free up time and energy to focus on what really matters. Now to recap the 5 essential lessons. 1. Ignore your weaknesses. Don't waste time trying to improve what you don't do well. Focus on identifying and leveraging your strengths. This applies to both yourself and the people around you. 2. Monitor your time regularly. This will allow you to identify where you are wasting time. Eliminate tasks that don't add value and delegate as much as you can. Create large blocks of time for the most important activities. 3. Do the most important task first. Ignore the second most important task until the first one is completed with quality. Take it slow, leave room for unexpected events, and review your to-do list regularly. 4. Focus on contribution, not effort. Constantly ask yourself, how can I make a significant impact? Focusing on results, not just effort, is what sets effective people apart. 5. Make strategic decisions. They eliminate the need to make lots of small decisions. Whenever possible, discuss your decisions with others and value differing opinions. I hope this content has helped you become even more effective. Subscribe to the channel, like it, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.